Hello and welcome to another episode of Chaos in London. This is a Mage edition, more specifically Seeking edition. Tonight we find ourselves with Mr. Eli Callahan, who is undergoing first Seeking of the game. So, Eli,
Woot.
for probably a few days now, maybe around a week or so, you've been getting this somewhat familiar, familiar is probably a good word to put it, familiar sort of prodding or poking or something of that nature, um, like inside, but not like, I mean, you're a med student, so you'd recognize if it was something seriously wrong, but it's more something like in your very soul, if that
Could
makes
it could it be described as a pecking?
Yeah, pecking would be a good word for it.
All right. Let me see here. Oh wait, I probably should get a Discord. 1 second.
Oh yeah, Discord would be good.
Yeah.
Um,
So let's see here. I think I have some of it. Let me have a check. See here. I do have some meditation skills.
yeah, why don't you give me a we'll call it a wits meditation.
What's meditation? All right, standard diff.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's Sorry, Discord is always slow when it first starts up.
Yeah. Do
Because
you want me to
it,
before you talk?
I got it. Here we go.
Okay.
There we go. Let's see if I remember how to do this. R5D 10. I got 3 successes, including 2 10s.
Yeah, this is pretty good. So yeah, you're able to kind of slip yourself into a meditation, focusing on that prodding, that thing coming from inside your very soul. And as you do, you to um, begin to kind of feel yourself fall into an almost dreamlike state. And when you come to air quotes, um, you will find yourself in a small, um, kind of a glade-like area, kind of a forest clearing, which appears to be completely empty, save for a nest in a tree, which appears to have. I believe you mentioned your avatar was a dove, correct?
Yes.
Yes, it'll have a dove. Realize I just gave away what that dove is, but I mean, it's not like you wouldn't figure it out.
All right. You'll look around and look around a little bit more and make sure nothing else is around there, and slowly approach the tree with the nest in it. Not not in any way hiding, or not in any way attempting to hide myself. Uh, Probably figuring that this is probably its realm. So not that I could hide if I wanted to, but obviously making the obvious approach of not hiding, showing the
Gotcha.
respect.
So yeah, um, your avatar just kind of looks down at you, and it kind of moves its head in that bird-like motion where it's kind of like checking you out and checking out the area and all that stuff. And once it kind of calms down, um, it'll open its beak and in a human voice, in English, of course, it'll say, "So it's been a little while."
It has. It's good to see you again.
Likewise, you've been through quite a lot since we last spoke.
Quite a lot, yes. The Lich was fun.
Yes. Shame what happened to your staff.
That was annoying, but at the same time, I have an idea for the spear that I recovered and the possibility of restoration. Not putting a whole lot of hope on it, but I hear Odin can be a sentimental kind of person. If I can find another version of him, maybe returning it might help. Might go ways to restoring the power to the staff.
Perhaps. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank
But
you.
for now, we have a challenge trials to go through. See how far your enlightenment has come.
Okay.
And it'll hop down, like it'll fly down from its nest and land and point with one wing, or kind of gesture with one wing through that clearing, and your trial will begin.
Actually, before it speaks, I show it the respect of. Well, I don't really expect it to, but I offer my arm for it to land on if it so wishes.
Yeah, it'll land. It'll
Instructions.
land on you. Yeah, kind of lands on your forearm.
Yeah, he'll look over that way. All right. Are you coming or are you staying here?
This is something you will have to do on your own, but I will be watching.
Fair. Thank you. However it ends, it has been a pleasure.
Likewise. And it'll hop down from your arm and wait for you to enter the clearing.
He'll straighten what I'm assuming is the imaginary suit that he's wearing. And not like overconfidently, but with some confidence. But he's not being an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
He'll head right in.
Okay. So as soon as you step through the clearing, the environment completely changes. You find yourself in what appears to be a medical ward.
Okay.
You find yourself in a medical ward. There are, people freaking out. There are people like running up and down the halls with gurneys and everything. It seems like there's been some kind of major catastrophe or something happening. And as you're kind of getting adjusted and everything, one of your teachers from your old university will bark at you. Callahan, get over here. We need you. Don't stand there.
He'll rush right over.
And he'll start kind of giving you commands on what he needs done and everything. This person needs to be prepped for the what is it? Yes, the OR. This person needs to be just needs an IV in him, and needs to be hooked up and everything. This person needs a ridiculous amount of fluid drain, so on and so forth. He's kind of barking commands at you like one after another. As soon as you get done with one, you don't really get a chance to rest up.
He won't necessarily do it in the order of the command barked. He will do it in order of the standard ER practice of most critical to least critical.
Makes sense. Okay. So yeah, you're kind of like he's still barking commands as you're going from patient to patient. Give me a. We'll say this one's gonna be. It's gonna sound a little weird. Give me a wits alertness roll.
Wits alertness. All right.
Because it's kind of like you're trying to pay attention to him as to what he needs done, while also figure out what order it needs to be done in. Right?
Ooh, that's not good. Just a straight fail.
Okay.
depending on
So, yeah.
depending on difficulty.
Yeah, it's Div 6.
Okay.
I mean, it's stuff that you've done before, but this is also a very stressful situation, so that's a little distracting.
Can I try again at a higher difficulty?
Yeah, you can go for it. One of the nurses will kind of like pat your arm and say, "Just breathe. You'll get through this, and you can go ahead and roll."
Spending willpower.
Okay.
Holy crap-a-moly. Okay,
There you
that's
go.
6 successes. 6 successes, and I would actually argue that would be 7 because of specialty in medicine.
This is an alertness roll. You do not have a specialty in wits or alertness.
Okay, fair enough. Although I'd ask on that if it's hospital and medical related, but I'll live with that. Okay, cool.
But yeah, after you kind of take that second to kind of breathe and get yourself back in that like that headspace, you start getting patients prepped and ready and everything, and their fluids drained or whatever they happen to need at that time, in the order that they need to be done in. And after a little bit, things kind of seem to calm down. The instructor that I mentioned earlier kind of comes up to you and says, "That's some pretty good work. Kind of looked like you were lost for a minute at the beginning there, but straighten your head out. Everything seemed fine." And he'll kind of hold his hand out for a handshake.
He'll shake his hand. Yeah, sorry, I'm not used to this. A little overwhelming there for a moment.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get used to it if you want to be a doctor.
I hear you.
It's not like this happens every day, but when it does.
Yeah. All right, so what's next? Who needs help?
I think we are all right for the moment. Why don't you go? Why don't you go take a break real quick? Get yourself something to eat, something to drink, so you don't pass out on your feet.
He'll nod and he'll go to the break room.
Okay. So when you get in there, go ahead, or as you're making your way there, give me a perception alertness.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Okay. Looks like 5 successes depending on difficulty.
Yeah, it's standard diff. As you're on your way there, you kind of hear some muttering, kind of hushed speaking from a closet, and one of the things that they say catches your ear, and kind of they're basically talking about a patient and about how like people need to focus on him because if he makes it out, he could donate a fuck ton of money as opposed to like this patient who's you were dealing with both these patients earlier. The one they're talking about is loaded, and, everything. But the patient that they said they should be focusing on is A, homeless, and B, is in far worse condition than the rich patient.
Well, he will. I'll
There we go.
sorry.
No, you're good, man.
Uh,
A little tune for you.
so
Yes.
Eli will check both charts. Can I roll a let's see, intelligence medicine to try to help both at the same time with the resources that's available?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll say Kino's line is applicable for this.
Okay, so 70, 10. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, or 5 successes.
5 successes. Alright. Yeah, because, okay. Because that merit you got. So yeah. You're like, it's pretty clear, if attention is taken away from the poor patient, like, she's, like, that's it. She's fighting a very hard battle right now, and she needs every hand on deck that she can get.
All right. All right. Here's where Bladency is going to come in handy. He is going to. Let's see if I can do this good. I am going to. Okay, with my knowledge of my life spheres, can I save her while redirecting the doctors to help the rich person at the same time?
Yeah, you can tell you can tell them, like, oh, this is. I'll let you decide how you want to try and get them to go to them.
Oh, I got an idea, but do no harm. But I know I can help her while if all of the resources are put on him, so it wouldn't actually be doing harm.
Also, I will remind you, the do no harm thing faded when you killed the lich.
Oh, I thought that was just from the one item. Okay, but he hasn't put that all together yet. I'm going to think.
That's fair.
But he's also going to be thinking that way. So he's going to, while he's checking the chart of the rich fellow, he's going to slip the heart monitor off of his finger.
Okay.
Causing a code blue.
Yeah.
Which will redirect, and I will go into the other person, and I will roll for blatancy to help cover myself.
I will first need a dexterity subterfuge roll when you slip the heart monitor off of the dude to make sure nobody catches you.
Ooh. Let's see.
Because you're still in a crowded hospital.
Okay, I'm going to spend a willpower on a past lives.
Fair enough.
First, so that'll get me 1 success, and then I will
phantom in it, right?
in subterfuge. That gives me a success.
Okay. So yeah, people are just assuming you're going in to check on him because, I mean, his condition's fairly stable. Like, they're kind of watching him to make sure nothing happens, but they figure you're going in there just to, double check on everything. So you're able to slip it off pretty easily and signal for the code blue, and make your way out pretty quick.
And I will step into the room with the. It was a woman, right?
Yes.
All right. So with all their distraction on him and the code blue, oh wait, because the cameras are still in existence, so I should still.
Yes. Yeah. ahead and roll your, we'll say it's manipulation latency or dex latency, whichever one's high. Oh, you dropped.
Sorry.
Nah, man, you're good. Internet's a fuck sometimes.
Yeah. So what was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I heard were cameras are still in existence.
Yeah. So I should probably still do a latency roll to cover my butt from cameras too.
Yeah. I'll say that one's manipulation.
Manipulation set?
Yep, manipulation latency.
Guile is applicable.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. 7. That's a whole lot of successes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 1, 5 successes.
That's pretty good. Okay, so yeah, your effect will be coincidental. So no need to worry about that. With that amount of success.
So for the lady, I shall concentrate through my tattoos using
Okay.
the both the personal and unique both the personal and a unique foci.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll bring it down to diff 4. I will use a quint to move it to diff 3, and I will spend a willpower.
Okay.
And that will give 4 successes.
All right. So, if I well, I mean this is seeking, so fuck it, whatever rules are. I mean they're there, but they aren't to be strictly adhered to. So yeah, as you're kind of like, you know, using your tattoos and everything, focusing your willpower through them to kind of call upon her own body and improve it, heal it. Um, and as you do, you kind of start feel something in the room, something that possibly was in her, but has now been forced out of her. Thing that was keeping her in that condition, and her, you can tell from the monitors and everything, her condition immediately starts like going back to normal. And she still has like a couple of minor scratches and scrapes and everything here or there, but she's gonna make it pretty easily. But you still feel that weird presence.
Spirit sight.
Go for it.
Forcing something I can't see out of her. Yeah, that sounds like a 2 successes, 1 into duration for the scene, 1 into effect.
Yep, that'll work. So yeah, as you focus your sight through the gauntlet, you see something horrendous sitting there. Something almost beyond like description. It's gross. It's slobbering all over the place. There's like pus coming out of almost every pore, and it seems to be staring right back at you and looks very angry.
Not a place for you.
It responds to your little taunt by continuing to glare, and then it pops. It just kind of starts walking. Seems to go through the wall.
I will follow it as best as I can.
Okay. So you're following it. It's just kind of going here and there. And on occasion, it'll like stop into a patient's room, look back at you, shake its head, leave the room, move on, just continue wandering throughout the hospital.
Actually, you know what? There's something interesting about this because, you know, even spirits like this, there's a certain balance. I have spirit lore. Can I try to recognize this thing
Sure.
and see if it's there's a difference between malevolent and well, there's a couple levels of malevolent in Ian's head. There's the malevolent that's intentionally malevolent, and those that are just born of it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That can't that come to it with through no choice that exist as a balance. You know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
there's ones that are there by choice, malevolently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So that's intelligent spirit law, right?
Yes.
If the difficulty is standard, it is 4 successes. If it's 7, it's 3 successes, and 2 if it's higher than that.
Um, so that does appear to be it appears to be a spirit of pain and injury, but it doesn't it didn't choose to be that way. Like it is just that is just how it was formed. It fulfills its function, and that's all it has known and probably will.
Okay, so it's there as part of the balance in general rather than something that's intentionally evil.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not going to make any moves against it unless it intentionally tries to harm something.
Okay.
Uh, I will, if it seems to give too much attention to one patient, I will try to help that patient though.
Okay. Um,
Because it could be trying to give me a message too.
right. It will seem to start to focus on one patient. Um, and as you go into their room, um, you'll see their heart rate is spiking. Their vitals are not good, like to put it lightly. Um, but there doesn't seem to be anything outwardly wrong with them. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Okay, I got up to their vitals.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah.
Their vitals are not good. That's basically the gist of it. Um, but it doesn't seem to be the result of anything outwardly, and you really recognize this patient. Like they've been here for a little while now.
Does this spirit seem to be, was the spirit seemingly leading me to this patient?
Um, that's entirely possible. You also, from your spirit lore check, you know that spirits like they don't really care about people or anything really. They are there to fulfill their their purpose, and that is it generally.
Is my blatancy still in effect?
Not at this point now.
Okay. Is there many people in the room? Is there anybody in the room?
Uh, not besides the patient. The
All
patient's
right.
there, but yeah.
Um, I'm going to quickly check the chart. Um, is, does this seem like something that regular medicine will help, or is it something beyond that?
Um, give me an intelligence medicine.
Okay. Just double checking to make sure got the right. Yeah. Keen Edge Mind.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I,
computer tends to like to minimize my PDF reader and put it on non-responsive, so it's. One second, let me pull up my. Okay, so yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Okay. It's something that could be healed with the medical advancements that humanity has currently, but it'd still be some experimental stuff.
Does the patient seem to be in a crashing state right now, or is the patient holding on?
Oh yeah, like their heart rate is fucking through the roof, and it should not be. They are clearly bad things are happening.
One, two, three. 2 successes on blatancy this time.
Okay. I'll say that'll knock it down to vulgar without witnesses, just because of the nature of the thing that you're trying to affect and the cameras and whatnot.
And that would be 7 that would be 7 with the current level I'm using, so 30. Am I seeing anything with spirit sight to this patient?
Nope.
No. Okay. Then I will. I will go for it. 7 minus 2 for unique and the tattoos. So.
Yeah.
There it doesn't seem to be any kind of special power to this place. This isn't like some kind of node that I'm sitting in, is it?
Not as far as you can tell.
Okay. Let's see, I've used 2 willpower. I'm at 6. Yeah, I'll go for the willpower again. And not using the quint this time. So 5 is the difficulty. Ooh, thank God. Well, thank God for the willpower, which is just so 1 success.
Yeah.
So I just want to confirm something storyteller-wise. No matter how many 1s or whatever you get, a willpower success is always 1 success, period, right?
I haven't ran it that way in the past, but I'm probably going to change to that if I like it better.
Okay.
Just because that's literally what willpower is supposed to be. Like, you're literally forcing your body through sheer willpower to do this, regardless of what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, was it? That makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, you focus your will, and they seem to get a little better, but shortly, like after you, I'll save my narration.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous. Sorry, again.
You're good. You can't, like, tech issues are a thing.
Do I do enough to stabilize the person?
You get better. You get her better. Like, you get, sorry, not her. That was the other person. You get him better. But as you're kind of looking, because you're seeing in 2 worlds right now, right? You got your spirit side up and then your regular side.
Yeah.
The spirit is just kind of watching you, frowning and shaking its head, and the man's the man seems to get a little better, but it's still like they're stable, sure, yeah, they're stable, but you know that like it's gonna take a lot more to get rid of the cause. You've treated the symptom, but not the cause.
Do I happen to see what the cause is?
Not currently, no.
I'll go back to the chart and look to see if I can glean any more information about what possibly causing it from there.
See, that's the thing. Like, they are very, like, they have like the various symptoms, but they're not sure what is causing them. Like, they've tested for a bunch of different things and have come up negative on all of those things.
Intelligence medicine to see if I can come up with something they may have overlooked because they're so busy.
You can give it a shot.
Alright.
Get a mute real quick.
One, two, three, four, five. 4 successes.
Alright. So
I got 4 successes.
Gotcha. You kind of remember from like when you were still in school, you know, when you were still like attending lectures and shit. One of your instructors telling you a story of um, how he had one patient with something that nobody could diagnose, and they ran through all sorts of tests to try to figure out what it was until they realized the one thing that they hadn't tested for, and that's because there's not a test for it. And that is Lou Gehrig's disease, aka ALS.
Okay, and that's pretty sure that's beyond a level 3.
I mean, you could theoretically do 3, but like you'd be here for a very long time. Like that's a lung transplant requirement.
Well, it depends on the area effect it begins at.
Fair enough.
Because what it is nerve degeneration, basically. For example, my grandpa started in the middle of his back.
And then it kind of spread.
Yeah, and it literally became like his heart and lungs were working so hard just to breathe, and his heart beat, it just gave out on him. And that's how he passed away. His heart just gave out.
Gotcha.
You know, I think I have a rope just for this kind of thing.
Oh.
Yes, you remember that one that I found that you couldn't understand why there was correspondence attached to it? Psychotronic biological diagnosis?
Oh, yeah.
I think this would probably work right up in the right up that one's alley.
If I remember right, it just kind of lets you diagnose like what an issue is, right?
Yes, but if I think it's Lou Gehrig's, can't I use that to pin down the exact problems that possibly?
Yeah, you'd be able to pin down like where it started and where it has spread to. Oh.
Because right now, since there's extremely experimental.
Okay, I got a part of that. You can pin down where it
started and where it has spread to.
All right, so I'm still working off of the vulgar without witnesses, right?
Well, this is basically a side effect, and those are almost 100% coincidental. Like, there's very few exceptions to that. So.
Okay, so 3 plus level, highest level. That'd be the correspondence section. So that'd be a 5 difficulty. Concentrating through my tattoos, that brings it down to a 3 difficulty. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, so that's 3 successes.
Okay, so in this case, it has started in his back and has spread. like mostly to his shoulders and his arms.
Okay, I will take out because I've gotten him stabilized at least. I don't want to do too much because this is a disease. I don't want to screw it up, and B, if he's suddenly healed of it, it's going to look really mighty weird.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the chart and, in very vague terms, say check for Lou Gehrig's and um, jot down some things and cross them out like I'm getting rid of certain ideas, and then come down to the areas that I happen to know where it started in, and then vaguely write check these areas, and then put the chart back and leave.
Okay. So as you step through the door, you hear like you kind of fade out.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Sorry, I heard as you step through the door, you hear, and then
Okay.
I cut out.
Your vision kind of fades, and you hear like you hear a doctor coming in, talking with some nurses and stuff, and you'll hear him say, "That's interesting." As you like hear him pick up the chart, and then you fade away again, and you find yourself back in that glade
Okay.
with the dove sitting there. The dove looks at you and says, "So, what have you learned?"
Uh, I have learned that not all things can be solved by magic. You don't always necessarily have to choose between two. And not all things are as they appear. One previously who may have seen that spirit may have thought it was evil and done something to harm it, but there is a certain level of balance in all things.
No, the dove will kind of nod as much as a dove can. Um, say, yes, all very important lessons, I feel. Um, there are some things that at your current power, possibly beyond anyone's power, uh, just cannot do. There are some things that you may have the power to do, but you morally refuse to, or will not do. Um, and sometimes it doesn't take grand gestures to have an effect, or a large effect.
Well, in some cases, both people deserve all the help we can give them, and both individuals, no matter rich or poor, deserved as much medical care as that can be given by the individuals that were available. We were just lucky that I happened to be capable of helping a little more than normal, but I would have tried to do something whether I had the medical ability or the magical ability or not. So yeah, that was that real?
No, this was all taking place in a. He'll, he'll look like he's thinking for a second. He'll kind of do that head twitchy thing that birds do. Um, I've made a small area of your mind in order to do this with, and after this is done, it'll be returned to its regular functioning.
Okay,
But
you'll nod.
you've done well. Rest up, and I will call on you in the future when it's time for your next trial.
All right.
Yeah, After you say all right, you wake up back in the real world. It's the next day, with a new sense of purpose and feeling like you've got a new rung of power under your belt. So yeah, congratulations, you're now Arete 4.
Woot! Nice.
We will go ahead and call it there. Unless there's anything else you want to do real quick.
Not with this character.
Fair enough. So yeah, we will call it there. And thank you for playing. Thank you, future watchers, for watching. It's been another episode of Hong Kong House. Whoa, fucked up. It's been another episode of London. Alright, we're on the other side of the fucking planet by now. Bye, guys.